Damn these Biloxi blues, it happens every night.
Every old
And
night.
I ain't never met a riverboat dealer that could ever be a friend of mine.
I
The summer
Have
heat
not.
never treats me kind, it leaves trouble on my mind. So I'm bidding farewell, putting in my notice, and I'll see you at another time. This highway does not know my name, and I don't care. No, I don't care.
nope.
Headed my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare. Just a white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to get there.
Budget live, not so live, from the Low Budget Live Bar and Grill here in beautiful southern Middle Tennessee. And this is the podcast for Monday, July 31st. You bunch of low-lifers. And I hope you're doing well out there. Hope every single one of you are doing well out there. And yeah, you're a low-lifer. If you listen to the show, you're a low-lifer. I don't care if you're some CEO for some corporate thing in life and you think you're better than everybody. You're still a low-lifer. You're hanging out with the low-lifers if you have tuned in. So welcome, low-lifers one and all. This is a podcast about bass fishing. It's about music. It's about my life at times. It's about all kinds of stuff. So welcome. We're doing it again. We've been doing it for almost 6 years, which is hard to believe. Here in a couple of weeks, it will be the 6-year anniversary of this insanity. That is for damn sure. Whew, to quote Hudson Duncan, it is, we've gone from global warming to global boiling. That's what he said. He saw him a TikTok that said that, and that's how it feels right now. It is not fat man friendly in southern Middle Tennessee right now. You walk outside, you better have your baby powders on, boy. Better get have your baby powders ready. Phew, it is hot. Me and the boys fished yesterday for a little bit, and the water temperature was 88 degrees. Say it with me. 88 freaking degrees on the Tennessee River. So we went catfishing. Call me Luke Linder, son, because I am a multi-species master these days. Started my year with them crappie, trying to figure that deal out, and now I'm live baiting for catfish using an Eagle Claw circle hook, having the time of my life. Living that Hank Williams Jr. life, okay? Country boy can't survive, okay? Forever rowdy. Been living that Bocephus life, son. Ain't no trot line. We're using rods and reels. Shotgun rifle and a 4-wheel drive. An express bass boat. The missing verse that you never knew. But Hank done it this way. That's pretty much the week I've had right there. Just catching catfish from dusk till dawn. More from like 4 in the afternoon till dark. But no, me and Hudson Ryder had a great time doing that this week out in the Express. I know the Lenders had it aligned. I'm making the Express the multi-species rig, dude. X21. All right, let's get into this. Got a good show. Got a good interview for you. Can't wait to talk to our guest today. He has been on the show multiple times and is always a good time having him on. But first, let's thank the sponsor, Star Trot, kicking ethanol in the teeth in your weed eater, in your chainsaw, in your lawnmower. Most importantly, in that outboard engine, because all this fuel out here, it's that bad gas. It's got 10% ethanol in it. It will gum up the works. Startron, it's easy. You keep it in the truck. Little dab will do you every time you fuel up, whether it's the truck or the boat. But those outboards really don't like that ethanol. So make sure you fight it, kick it in the teeth with Startron. Pro Guide Batteries, ProGuideBatteries.com. One of the oldest names in the battery game that got into the lithium world a couple years ago. They've got all their new lithium trolling motor batteries, their lithium cranking starting batteries with their AGMs on ProGuideBatteries.com. LBL10 will save you cash. Trust me, they're quality products made by quality people. ProGuideBatteries.com, LBL10. Bait-works.com, bait-WRX for works. It's It's shorthand for Works, WRX. Bait-works.com, Duncan-10 saves you money, lets them know you're a low-lifer. Duncan-10 at Bait-Works. They got those LOB jigs, the Power Finesse jig with the custom trocar hook, finer than frog hair skirt, available in 7 colors, 2 sizes. Go get them exclusively at Bait-Works. Where else can you get LBL right on the package other than an LOB jig? From bait-works.com. Lots of other things in stock right now. A lot of new things in stock on the site. If you deep in the South, deep down in the South, like Whiskey Myers said, maybe throwing a big spoon. They got them Dixie Jet spoons. They got all your big spoons. The James Watson Worldwide spoon. Duncan-10, go check them out. It's spooning season right now. Indeed. Last but not least, the reason I'm recording this a couple days early. Hang the freaking banner. Express Boats, the original all-welded aluminum bass boat, the Bassmaster Classic winning aluminum. First ever Bassmaster Classic aluminum boat. Champs. The freaking Express Boat X21, fastest hole shot in the game. Yamaha show 250 on the back of that bad boy. But don't sleep on the other models, the X19, the Bay Boats, the H17s. But why I'm recording this early, I'm going to get to go see all the new at their dealer meeting in Hot Springs, Arkansas. I'm going to be out there for a couple of days. So check them out, expressboats.com, building excitement since 1966. Yeah, actually recording this on Saturday. You're listening on July 31st, but recording on Saturday, and the St. Clair Elite is not over with yet, but they're smashing up there. So I want to retract my statements from earlier this year where I was like, damn, I think St. Clair's really not fishing that good. Yeah, it's fishing amazing this week. Took almost 20 pounds a day to make the top 50 cut. Taku Ito ain't afraid of ghost, and he ain't afraid of no smallmouth. He's up there doing work. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, go back and listen to the Taku episode because it was fun. And Cowboy Joe, Joey Fuentes, him and Taku battling it out up there. Joey catching them, dude, like top 10 AOI. It's my boy right there, Blue. And I think it was really it was the Low Budget Live at the Classic that turned it around for him. I mean, I know he just won the Elite at Seminole, but I think playing percussion with us for the Low Budget Live at the Classic really, we got him on the straight and narrow. He partied with me and Shannon Wheeler that night, and now look at him. Like I said, he had just won an Elite Series. But I feel like we had something to do with that. Shannon Wheeler and I do take a lot of credit for Joey's success. A lot of storylines going on up there. Brandon Cobb and Kyle Welch are duking it out for AOI with a couple events to go. It's interesting to see, man. Welcher, he was able to keep it between the ditches, but Cobb's got a little bit of a lead over him now. Be interesting to see how that one plays out. I am fascinated with guys like Taku, though, and their ability to come here and just smash. Just freaking smash. So crazy to me. But especially on lakes they've never been on. But with technology, man, and their techniques, like anything's possible. It's so cool to watch. So will Taku pull it off? You guys are going to be watching this on Monday, and you already know the answer. You're already going to know the answer. I do not yet, though, as I record on Saturday. Quick, just some shout-outs I want to give out. Some shout-outs. People used to get so mad when I said shout-out all the time. I remember that from the early days of LBO. I used to fill up my, quit saying shout-out. But shout-out to Matt Steffen for winning the final Tackle Warehouse Invitational of the year. Matt is a fantastic dude. He's a veteran tournament angler. I've competed against him when I fished the FLW Tour there. Great dude. And it's awesome to see him get a dub. He's going to the BPT, along with guys like Nick Hatfield, my buddy, Keith Carson, my dude. Keith Carson, who really I feel like MPFL kind of exposed to the world a little bit. Now he's going to play around the BFL. Gray Buck, another great guy. He's been mixing it up. He's going to get to go to the BPT. But what the coolest story, Marshall Robinson, Marty's son, that fished the Elite Series, fishes BPT. Marty's son, Marshall, going to join his dad on the Bass Pro Tour. I think that's just such a neat story, man. Such a neat story. Congrats to that young man. He is certainly a fish catcher. And then Ron Nelson wins his second Angler of the Year. Dude. Second. He turned BPT down the first time, so will he go this time? Ron Nelson, obviously a stud on and off the water. You seen the pictures of his hair? You kidding me? He had that JT Kenny look about him. Just suave hair. And I just have hair envy. Y'all know me, my balding ass. Got some hair envy. But congrats to Ron for winning a second AOI, holding off Michael Neal, who was going for his third Angler of the Year over there, which is hard to even wrap my mind around. Mikey on fire as well. And then, speaking of BPT, we're rolling in the last one, Saginaw Bay. Little Alton, a guy that fishes with his dad on the BPT. So now he'll have another father-son duo joining him. But Little Alton's got a slim lead in the Angler of the Year over Jacob Wheeler and Ott Defoe. So it's going to be interesting to see that one shake out. Can Little Alton hold down those monsters and take home his first Angler of the Year dub up there on Saginaw Bay? The more important question for me is, will everybody's body, their body, help them not fail a polygraph? I got sent Spencer Sheffield, of course, disqualified. He took the brunt for all the guys that didn't get disqualified. But Spencer made a video about, trying to justify everything he did and all that. And he said, somebody was like, well, how do you justify failing a polygraph with video evidence? And I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, I've been drugged through the ringer and I've been sick and blah, blah, blah. My body failed me and I failed the polygraph. My body just gave in. I failed. Dude, my body fails me all the time, right? Like I want abs, but my body won't let me because I also love cheeseburgers and it won't allow me to have abs. It's like his body wouldn't allow him to pass a polygraph. There were video evidence of him cheating and his body failed him. His body is telling him no. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Like, just back off the keyboard, dude. Like, maybe don't comment. Maybe don't put that out there publicly that your body has failed you. Maybe don't. Maybe don't do that. I don't know. Sorry, Spencer, but that was one of the dumber things I've ever read in defense of getting caught cheating. Caught red-handed breaking rules in a bass tournament. Now, the dude's a stone cold catcher. He is a fish catcher. But in this event, on video, he broke the rules. Then he failed a polygraph. Your body did not fail you, bud. You failed yourself. Moving on. All right, we're gonna get the sauce from this guy right now. Not Spencer. We're not getting the sauce. It made it sound like I was, look, Spencer Sheffield. No. So I have had this guy on multiple times. I love him because he speaks his mind. I've always respected him immensely in the sport of professional bass fishing from the first day I ever met him. He absolutely calls balls and strikes. He's one of the only anglers that will do that. We're going to get the sauce from him presented by the W Sauce. This man has $923,000 in career earnings. He's on his way to Saginaw Bay. He's going to take some time out of his schedule to talk to us. And we're going to get him right now, Mr. Zack Birge. Zack Birge, buddy. How are you?
Great.
I feel like I just talked to you just a few minutes ago.
Something like that.
Yeah, so I hope everything's working. I feel like it is, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And if it's not, we'll just act like this never happened. So what we're referring to, people, because I had to shoot the whole thing over because that's how I roll, and because I didn't have any of it, no good audio. And the same thing happened to me last week. I still do not know what the problem is, but folks, if you listen to last week's episode, many of you did, I had to record twice with MPFL champ Trent Palmer. Well, Zack Birge and I have already done this once today, and he is kind enough and bored enough behind the wheel of his badass truck to talk to me for a second time. So welcome back. I have not counted it up. This is something I thought after I asked you to do this. You've been on LBL. You're running up there for like the record number of appearances. I got to count that to see who's got the most. It was between like you, Brad Knight, John Cox. John Cox may have all of you beat because I've had John on multiple times, but Birge, the Birge fans love hearing him on Low Budget Live, and I love having Zack Birge. So welcome back. I know what we talked about already, and I think we can talk about it again. So I said in this, and I'm not trying to pour gas on this fire. You know me. We in our last conversation we said we are changing in our old age. We're getting older. We're trying to be more subdued. We're trying to be new people here, folks. But Spencer Sheffield did say he failed a polygraph because his body failed him.
Say that again. Okay.
I have to say this again because I got sent this. He made a video about failing the polygraph, right? And dude, look, there were other people that should have been blamed, that should have been DQ'd too, whatever. Spencer did take the brunt of it, but Spencer on camera broke rules. It's blatant as hell. You can see it, but somebody sent me a Facebook comment where Spencer made a video about it, and Spencer said, hey, man, or somebody says, well, hey, how do you justify breaking rules on camera and failing a polygraph? And he was like, I've been drugged through the ringer, and I'm paraphrasing again, but I've been drugged through the ringer, and my body, basically his body let him down. And that's why he failed the polygraph, Zack Birge, because of his body. His body let him down. And I said, before I got you on here, I was like, my body lets me down all the time. I want abs, and it won't grow abs. It won't let me eat cheeseburgers and grow abs. Like my body fails me on a daily basis, but it's never failed a polygraph.
Yeah, mine lets me down about 10 minutes every day at the gym. Just can't. It just quits.
It just says no more.
Yeah, you're done.
I had to bring that up. This is one of the funniest comments. I was like, hey, Spencer, just don't post anything. How about that? Like, I just wouldn't post anything, maybe. Because Spencer, obviously a good fisherman. Yeah, Spencer, obviously a good fisherman. Obviously broke rules. That's fine. He's paying the price when a lot of other guys got away with it. But, yeah, I had to I had just talked about that before I called you because I got sent that. And I can't help it, man, that laugh, because my body does indeed let me down all the time. And so I feel him on that.
Yes, I can relate. Different subjects.
Yeah, you can't relate when it comes to breaking rules. You've not ever been known for that guy. Now, what you have been known for is a guy that always speaks his mind. And when we first talked just a little bit ago, and I think it's important for people to hear this again, because I loved your take on it. But you are outspoken on social media, in person. You tend to stand up for yourself. You stand up for what you believe in, whether that be politically, socially, whatever the case may be. But in professional fishing, there aren't a lot of Zack Birges. Most guys, right, wrong, or indifferent, they do. They tuck their tail. They don't speak up. You have always been that guy. Do you feel like that has hurt you in the sponsor world more than it hasn't at times?
Yeah. Like I said a little while ago, it's most certainly had its negatives and its positives. Yeah, I mean, it's cost me some money. It's gained me some money. But like I said, I'm not going to be governed by anybody, whether it's an individual, a league, company, whatnot. I want to associate myself with people that are similar, like-minded, and that's who I want to build my brand with, and that's who I want to run my business with. And I think it's over. I think this is my 8th year of fishing now. I think it's taken 6 or 7 years to surround myself with those people, and I'm here now, and I feel like everyone that I work with is very similar minded. And at the same time, it has cost me money. Some of them that I didn't even realize that was going to be an issue. It became an issue, and they went a different direction, and some of the deals fell into my lap because of it. But like I said, that's who I am. That's the brand that I've built, and it's not your average Joe. I'm not mixed in a crowd with a bunch of other people. That's kind of part of it.
It is, man. You got to be able to stand out, and that's something you've been able to do through social, through your fishing, performances. Just what I like about the Zack Birge brand, and brand's a weird word, I guess, but it's what you are, right? That's what you are as an angler. You're selling yourself. You're selling what you're about to sponsors. But I've always loved how You let it all hang out, like you just send it. Hey, this sponsor owes me money. By God, I love that. Here for that every day, because there's so much of that bullshit that does go on in our industry. They're like, hey, can you make 47 posts a year for us? But also, we're probably going to pay you late. That goes on a lot, and you know that just like I do. And you can insert a lot of companies there, not just that one in particular, but there are a lot. But you also, and I think this takes a real man to do, and a guy like Gerald Swindle excels at this as well, is you really open up your life to people. And what I mean by that is it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're at the gym, you show it. If you are working on heavy equipment, you show it. If you're duck hunting, you show it. Turkey hunting, killing every turkey in the Midwest, which you tend to do. They're not safe around Zack Birge or ducks. I've teased you about that for years. You murder some fowl. Like you are the reason duck populations are not good. They can't ever make it anywhere else because they can't get past you and your damn killer buddies. But all you do, man, you open it up, and I think that is something that is easier said than done for most people, right? Because there are days that I'm sure you're like, hey, screw this. I don't want to post this or show this.
Yeah. Some of my buddies are that way. They don't want to post every day, and they don't really care for social media. They've got it, but they don't want to do it. They don't mess with it much, and they may have some really cool one-off shot that they took, and they're like, I don't care to post it. Don't really want to. For me, it's kind of, you see guys that fish, and that's all you say and post about is fishing. There's nothing different. It's the same rhetorical stuff over and over and over and over.
Yes.
And that only goes so far. Like you don't touch with people that may not be all about fishing. They may be into going to the gym, and you can connect with those people by just a few posts here, because I like going to the gym too, and I don't, I like it letting people know that I go to the gym. I like letting people know that I enjoy being at the house, riding foilers with my kids, and fishing in the pond out back, and hunting with my buddies. At the same time, though, I feel like it's got a pretty good reach by doing that. But I can also work with companies that are like a Midway, where they're involved in the entire outdoor industry, hunting, fishing, camping, you name it, guns, reloading, stuff like that. It allows me to work better, feel like I can give them more by doing that versus solely being a fishing type image.
Yeah, no doubt. Going to Midway real quick, have you ever got to meet Larry Potterfield, the guy that says, thanks for your business at the end of those commercials?
I have not got to.
Damn it. Larry, if you're watching this,
I hope I get to.
Larry, if you're watching this, you better meet Zack Birge, damn it. Okay? Or you're never going to get to sponsor LBL either. How about that, Larry? Midway USA, Larry? Yeah, so no joke, I met his son one time on a quail hunt. Ended up at the same place with him in South Georgia, and hung out with his kid. And his kid was way more into music than he was like guns, and it was interesting. He and I talked music for 2 days at this thing. But it was Larry Pye, and I think it was his daughter as well, was at this thing I was at with TH one time. Yeah, but it's been many years ago, 7-8 years down the road. But yeah, the Potterfields, and of course I was drinking at night, and not while I was quail hunting with shotguns. Before you comment, people, but at night at the lodge, and of course I was like, "Thanks for your business," because I couldn't help myself, dude. What are you gonna say when you got them right there? They didn't think it was funny as I did, which is most things in my life, Zach. I think it's a lot funnier than most do. But yeah, there are several of you guys on that Midway deal, though. That's very cool because they just started. They're selling tackle and stuff now too, right?
Yeah, they do. They've got a tremendous assortment of products that they offer. I literally, it's very hard to get on there and not find something. The good thing about it is, which is, it's good and bad. One is everybody and their brother knows about them offering some shit. So when you're always kind of just and usually find it and ordered, and they've got overnight shipping, all that stuff that sometimes it's hard to find. They'll have in addition to all the hunting stuff, camping stuff, shot, guns, ammunition, all that good stuff. Outdoorsman's dream.
Oh, and they got Larry Potterfield. That's all you need to say, really. And he thanks you for
Yeah,
your
I mean,
and dude,
look,
so, and you may think I'm joking, but I've always thought that was such an amazing ad, just because of the simplicity of it, and it was the guy. It's like the guy looking in the camera and thanking you for your business. Like
yeah,
that was
100%.
like what a terrible business model to actually thank people for spending their hard-earned cash with your company. And he's done it for years and years and years. I can remember getting Midway USA catalogs, at my dad's house, and just, going through page by page, man. That was always an awesome catalog to get when I was a kid. And yeah, man, that's cool. I'm proud because I think Polinick's on that deal too. It's you and Polinick.
Yep. Polinick, Mark Rose, Brandon Lester.
Yeah, Lester. Yeah, that's right. It's awesome.
I mean, if you've been watching the outdoor shows as a kid,
man.
I'm 32, and I can remember watching outdoor shows a long time ago, and I can remember seeing commercials with him thanking you for your business.
Yeah,
as far back as I can remember.
You should adopt that. Like when you catch a 5-pounder, you should say thank you for your business. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm a marketing guy. Like you should do that. You start looking at the camera and go and do it just like Larry. Thank you for your business right into the camera. That should be the new Birge thing. I'm just saying, it's a big sponsor for you. Throw it in there every now and then, bud. Let it see what happens.
That's a good idea. Let me catch a 5-pound smallmouth this week. And
Yes.
I'm gonna turn around and say,
well,
we're going
to need you to catch more than just one on Saginaw Bay after what I saw at the MPFL. But so I asked you this earlier, and I'm going to ask you again. Even though we got a do over here, and we could talk about literally anything. And I'm so ADD. This interview will be totally different than the last one, and it already is, and you know that. That's just me. But dude, you've had a tougher year than you normally do. It's been up and down, is I think how you best describe it. And you've won over 40 grand, but you're not solid in the Red Crest standings. You got to be above 40th. You're 51st. And there are some guys that kind of dodged a bullet in the Cayuga craziness, in my opinion. There were several names. And I think it probably goes further than the top 10. I think there's been a lot of there were blatant things that happened on camera there, obviously, on the top 10. But there were some guys that were probably outside the top 10 that beat you in that event as well that weren't playing fair. And so they're ahead of you in the overall point standings. And I know that's got to be frustrating for you.
Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, I by no means want to put any blame on anybody else. 99.9% is myself for lack of performance in a couple of tournaments. It's just I've had a handful of good tournaments this year, and I've had a couple that have just absolutely sucked. There's really no better way to put it than that. And I have it's not out of question. I can make Red Crest. I just need a good tournament here at the last one, and it'll all be good. Now, when you go back and you look at the situation and the things that kind of shook out, yes, it is a little aggravating to look at it and go, all right, so where would I be if these other scenarios had been dealt with the way they should? Mm-hmm. Where would I be sitting now in points versus, there's still a handful of guys above me that probably wouldn't be, and I'd be up by this many points now. There's a lot of things that could have played out, and I don't know that they still will, maybe or not. I have no idea, but it's But at the end of the day, wherever I'm sitting right now, I still have to catch their ass in the next one.
No doubt, dude. I get that, and I respect the hell out of that. That mindset that no matter. And you've always been that guy. No matter what's going on, I mean, you own you. That's all you can do is take care of your own business. But you made a comment there do you think that they're still investigating stuff? Do you think that they might do more, or do you think it'll kind of just die with the Spencer DQ?
I highly doubt they'll do anything else. And in the back of my mind, I kind of hope there's some behind the scenes looking at stuff still. But at the end of the day, there's been a statement made that it's not very common for them to change things once a statement's been made. So there's no telling.
Yeah. Why in bass fishing do we run? And JT Kenny said it on this show, the first show we did this year in January, and he said we cover up the things we should cover. Why is it a negative if you go, hey man, 7 dudes cheated on camera, here you go, here are their names? Why is that bad? And I say cheat, I mean it is breaking a rule, so I say cheating. It's breaking a rule. They won money, but why do we cover that up? Every organization, why is that a black eye if you go, hey man, Billy Bob sucked this week because he broke a damn rule. Here's what we did. You know what I'm saying? It seems like we have in the sport, there's more of an effort made to hush things. And from the pros, that's why I've always respected you so much, is you will talk about it openly. Guys like James Watson will talk about it openly. There's so many people that will run their mouths like I will that are involved, but then there are equally as many that are like texting me behind the scenes telling me, hey, you should talk about this on your show, that also have social media followings bigger than I have that could just go, hey guys, this sucked and this happened. You know what I mean? Why is it that? Why is our sport that way?
There's some verbiage that I'd like to say, but I'm not going to say it here.
Come on, Zach. Come on, Zach.
Bottom line is there's a bunch of people that are just, they just cower down and go to a corner. They put their nose in the corner like they're in timeout, and they sit there until somebody takes the pressure off of them. And that's just it. I mean, I don't understand it. I mean, I've always been around, or been raised and been around people to man up, take responsibility for the things you do, the actions you play out with, and if you screw up, it's on you.
Own it, yeah.
And be a man about it, yeah. And
absolutely.
at the same time, like if somebody does something, and I see somebody that cheats or something, by God, I'm calling you out on it.
No doubt.
Because it's not right, And not only is it not right, it's you're stealing from me, stealing from the other guys that are competing. I work my ass off for what I have and to put food on the table for my kids, and I do it the right way. I by no means am I saying I've never broke a rule, because I've accidentally broken rules before unintentionally, but I haven't denied it, not once. It's just how it is.
You weren't looking for, but when you broke a rule unintentionally, you weren't looking for a gray area to tiptoe across and hoping you didn't get caught, right? Or blatantly, with a camera over your shoulder doing things. I think a lot of the reason these things happen too is you look at a couple of the guys in question have title sponsor deals with MLF sponsors. And I think that conversation certainly comes up every single time. And if you are sitting at home and you don't think those conversations take place, well, I got some oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you, like George Strait once said. Yeah. Think again. Those kind of conversations do happen, and I think they happen within every organization. If anything shady ever pops up, that is for damn sure, because unfortunately, this industry is very small, and a lot of those companies do foot the bill for a lot of these tournament organizations. So if Billy Bob is sponsored by General Tire or Toro or whoever, it probably makes the conversation a little harder to like, yeah, we should DQ him for breaking a rule. No, we'll just go. We'll just go with it. That's why Zack Birge is just a man about town with Larry Potterfield. He ain't tied to anything. You've been tied to things before, but no longer. You're doing your own damn thing. You've got a great sponsor stable behind you, dude. And you mentioned this the first time we talked today on people that have your back. That's the most important. And I feel the same way because I know running my mouth on here costs. If I feel like the show would be a lot worse if I just sat here and did the same damn fishing podcast that 150 other people do, and they're not any good. Okay. It's like you're saying about the fishing videos. And I'm not saying my podcast is the best by any means, but I also know that it's not the same. Like, I'm not afraid to put my neck out there is what I mean. And I know there are companies, I've lost sponsors because I speak my mind. Like, I can name them, but I'm not going to waste your time. You can do the math on the ones that I've had on the show that I don't have anymore. But I know that's the reason when you don't get re-signed, and that's fine. It's, you know, because I would rather be supported by people that have my back, like, which is what you mentioned to earlier, right? Because I'm just going to be me, right, wrong, or indifferent. I am. And that's what you should want us to be a part of.
100%.
If you're going into business with somebody, let me rephrase. If I'm not your cup of tea, that's fine. I don't judge you for that. But what I'm saying is, if you sign on with me, you know what you get from the beginning. Don't act a year in like, oh my God, I had no idea you spoke your mind.
Right.
Okay. Well, maybe do some research.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's, you know, this for the same reasons that your show is as popular as it is, it sticks out like it does. It's 100% authentic. And it's very popular. This is the same reason that, you know, I'm the way I am. And I've got the group of companies that I work with now that are fantastic. We're all like-minded individuals. I want to continue to work with people like that. I don't want to work with somebody that comes in and tries to filter me or tell me what I can and can't say or how I have to act. That's not going to fly. And I'm not saying that negative against them. I'm just saying that we just can't do business together.
Yeah.
We may still be friends and stuff and whatnot. We may talk often, but you know how I am. I know how you are. We just won't do business together.
Right.
I mean, that's how it is. And on top of that is the same thing. It goes to the organizations that you fish. Like, I want companies that are behind me for who I am, just like you want companies working with you because they know how you are, not because of where I fish at the current time, you know.
They just have your back no matter what. Yeah. No matter where the journey takes you, which brings me to, and we talked this earlier as well, and we keep saying that, but there's an hour of lost Zack Birge and Luke Duncan footage that'll never be seen, ladies and gentlemen. So it's in the ether. Same thing happened last week. But, you know, I asked you earlier, and I want to ask you again for the folks that hear, because I think it's very important to hear, because it's an interesting statement. And I think because fans have been on both sides of the fence of this since the beginning. I think things started calming down really last year. I really believe that. When BPT went to the 5-fish thing, it's been a great year. Until this Cayuga deal, it's been a really good year on the BPT. Period. End of story. It has been. There's been some great storylines. The events have been great. It's been fantastic. Cayuga was nuts. It is what it is. But that being said, you have a lot of fans that pick sides, right? And it would be easy for a Bassmaster fan to go, Zack Birge, if you don't like the things that are going on, get your ass in the opens. But talk about why that is such a difficult decision when you are at the level of the sport, which is the highest level. The Bassmaster Elites and BPT are as high as you can go. It's hard to qualify. It's hard to get there. But talk about why that's a tough decision.
Well, it's tough for a number of reasons. And unless you're like a Bobby Lane or somebody that's been on both sides, fished this, won that, won over here, and now you're like, all right, well, the only thing left that I haven't won that I really want to win is a classic, then you can drop everything and go do that. And you're established enough that the people that are behind you are going to continue to work with you until you accomplish that task, right? So someone like me, I've worked really hard to get where I am with BPT. I qualified for the FLW Tour the right way. And I got an invite to get over here, which was a no-brainer. It was 100% that move had to happen. But I can't walk away from this and just say, no matter where I were to go, like I can't, if I were to go fish opens, I just can't drop this and go do those. It wouldn't make sense from my standpoint. I would just have to fit the schedule in if it worked out, which now it probably never will. Having to fish all night, and if you skip a BPT, you get suspended. So it's tough. It's really tough to do, and it's not something that I want to do. Like if you're truly that unhappy and you just say, screw it, I want to fish the elites, go ahead. That's, do what you feel like you need to do. But for me, looking at it as a business, on my standpoint, I've got to continue to perform at the top level while I transfer to something else, if that were the case.
Yeah.
And that's just my perspective on it. It's very, very hard to get in, a group of anglers, the opens. I think there's over 200 guys fishing those, and they're all like, I would say it's 75% are lions.
Yes.
Trying to get all they can get. And the same thing with the invitationals, that's a solid group of guys there trying to get to BPT. And you look at the handful of guys that are coming over that just finished up at La Crosse.
Yes.
There's not one person in that top 10 that will not take your money at some point.
That's right.
So it's not an easy task to say, I'm going to stop this to go over there and do that, because it's not guaranteed by any means. There's guys that have quit that may not ever fish again at that level.
Listen, I think I call the opens bass fishing purgatory for a reason. We've seen guys try to qualify for years that are fantastic anglers. Keep that in mind. Just because you go fish those, I'm not knocking you because you don't just immediately qualify. Jason Christie is a freak of nature, right? And he ran back through them, okay? But he also had a very special year in the opens. But that being said, that is a difficult process. And I think that's the fear, whether you're on the elites and you have a couple bad seasons and you get bumped back to the opens, whether you're like, hey, I don't really like where this BPT thing is headed. Because I talked to some guys at ICAST that told me, I'm ready for a change. I'm fixing to make a big change. And I'm like, and I just want to say, yeah, good luck. Good luck to you, because it's easier said than done, man. You're seeing that with Ish and Bobby. It is not easy. It is not like it was 20 years ago. It's just not. The fisherman, the average guy in the open, like you said, he's a lion. They are so much better than they used to be. And look, the same thing goes for BFLs, Toyotas, the Invitationals, MPFL, whatever you're competing in, fishermen are better now. They are. They're better than they've ever been. It used to be really the haves and have-nots, right? I would say you had 10 dudes that pummeled the rest of the field a lot of times back in the day. Dude, these guys now, and you know it better than anybody, you've been in the game 8 years now, it's more difficult, dude. I don't care what level you're at. It is way more difficult.
100%. I mean, every single tournament you watch, if you look at the weights, like St. Clair right now, they're fishing today.
Oh my
Look
God.
at the weights from the first day, from the second day, and today. It's unbelievable.
Unreal.
You can't just show up there. Guys call it like 16 and 19, and they're at the very bottom of
going home.
The results. Yeah, they're driving home today.
Yeah.
And they didn't not catch them.
They didn't suck.
They just they didn't suck. They just sucked a little bit.
Well, it's like the pace in a NASCAR race, like you're a lap off. You're getting lapped because everybody else caught 20 pounds a day. You caught fish, you just didn't catch the right quality, and just an absolute damn slugfest. Because when you guys were there, I said St. Clair might be dead, just because the weights weren't that good compared to the FLW event we fished there in like 2018, which was just absurd. That event, but this elite's more in line. I think the fish are further along, and it's showing out, man. It's good to see, because I had heard some things about that lake coming out of COVID that it really was struggling because of fishing pressure and stuff. But the weights this week, damn, it don't look like it. It looks like it's St. Clair of old this week.
It's doing really good. And when I was there a couple weeks ago, I caught like 40 a day.
That's awesome.
I just didn't get on the right size. I was just on a different class of fish. I really knew what I needed to do, and I just had one of those times where it's so hard to get away from reeling one in about every 5 minutes to make myself go try to catch a bigger one. Yeah. You catch a 3-pounder, 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 3-pounder. You think the next one eventually is going to be a 4 or a 5. No, they're all 3-pounders till you get around a class of 4s and 5s.
Do you think that, because I believe this, that northern events are fun, but I think to me, they were always the most frustrating because of what you just said. You're going to get a gajillion bites when you're there, but if they're not 3.5s and 3 3/4, say like on a Lake Champlain or whatever, if they're not that better than average, you get your ass kicked. You're going to catch 100 and you're going to catch however many over 3, but if they're not 3.6 to 3.10, you're getting your ass kicked. And it's like, it's so frustrating, dude. So frustrating because you're having fun and then you get back to the weigh-in and then you're just pissed off.
You're exactly right. That's exactly the way every northern tournament I've had has went. Cayuga, I've done well there both times, but man, St. Clair, Erie, Champlain, if you're not on like a half-pound heavier class of fish or quarter-pound, normal is a jump in places. It's just that you catch so many 3-pound, but you don't catch 5 3 1/4s and 3.5s. You're going to be 40 places further down the standings.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. And you strike me as a guy, though, because you've had a lot of success in the fall and different things. You don't mind an old grinder either. Like if it's a 12-pound-a-day grinder, you go throw an old square bill around. You're like, I'm good with that. That's just that Oklahoma angler in you, in my opinion. You're okay with it not being a slugfest.
I'm perfectly okay with it.
Hey, we still got you? Hello. Might have lost Zack Birge.
Can you hear me?
I think I got you back now. Are you
Okay.
there?
It's
like
switching
towers.
Some switched over on my phone. I don't know what happened.
No, you're good. We lost you for a second there, but you were talking about if you don't catch the right average fish, obviously you go home. And then I said, well, you like an old grinder, and you do, man. And I think that when you sit at home and you watch those events, you're like, damn, that looks fun. But mentally, they are freaking frustrating. They just are.
Yeah, they really are. I prefer the grinders versus the you catch 50 and you still end up at the bottom of the pack.
Yeah, and you're 18 hours from home.
Yeah.
You got a long way to go back to good old Okie land.
That's right. It's a lot of time to sit there and think.
Be pissed off. I'll never forget my first trip to the first year I fished FLW. I went to Champlain, and dude, I mean, this was before everybody had floggers. I don't think there was anybody in the damn tournament that had a flogger. And we're catching them on the bed, dude, and they're everywhere. And I swear to God, if I caught one a day, I caught 100 or more. It was ridiculous. I could catch them on whatever I wanted to catch them on. I would drop the trolling rod on this big flat every morning and just fish until it's time to go in and just catch them all day, me and my co-anglers. And I finished way down there. I don't remember. Missed the cut. And but I had over 15 a day. But I'll never forget my wife calling me. And she's like, well, it looked like you had fun. And those are pretty smallmouth you weighed in. And she's just trying to be nice in Tennessee. And I'm 19 hours from home. And I'm like 80th with 15 pounds. And I'm like, I hate this shit. I hate this place. I'm so mad. And I'd had one of the most fun days, my co-angler and I, out there high five. Oh, man, this is great. And you're getting your ass kicked the whole time. But it's as a fisherman, it's hard to go, well, this sucks. But they weigh 3 pounds instead of 3.5. And I'll never forget rooming with Strader, and he had 3.5 pounders every day, and he ended up making all the way to the top 10. And we were fishing the same general area, and it's just like, dude, the story in the standings doesn't tell it. Like, you're dialed, you've got it going on, but you just don't come across those little bit better than average fish. And so damn frustrating, though. And you're right, that is a long, long ride home from up there when you don't have the events you want to have. Good God, that's a long ride.
No doubt.
You can't get there from my house in southern Middle Tennessee. Trust me, you just can't. Well, all right, dude. So going into Saginaw Bay, what do you got to have finish-wise to jump up there and make it back to Red Crest at Lay Lake next year?
And I think I'm 11 spots out. It's 35 points or something. I think the 20 would be close, but I really feel like top 10 would be for sure. I think for sure get me in. So that goes, and like I said earlier, if I had looked at it, I'd made a decision before the MPFL was there and the coverage that went on, I probably would have said, man, I'm just going to go largemouth fishing, and I'm just going to pound their teeth in until I catch 16, 17 pounds, hopefully, and get lucky and catch a couple of them bigger ones, which it seems like you catch an absolute pile, but it's hard to catch big largemouth. But smallmouth, on the other hand, seems like you can catch them, weather permitting, and maybe a little tougher, but average weight-wise is much better, it seems like. So from where I'm standing in points and what I need to do, where I need to finish, I really need to put all my eggs into that smallmouth basket and try to make that work. Now, obviously, if it's sucking, I can run to the bank or run somewhere and catch 5 largemouth and be, not finish dead last, I feel like. But in order for me to get where I need to get, I need 5 smallmouth a day.
Yeah, it's an interesting fishery, man, because it's healthy on both sides. Both brands up there, smallie and largemouth, they're healthy. Like you said, it does seem like numbers from the MPFL. What you just watched there. It's interesting to see. And we've been there 2 years in a row, and I said this to you. It's daunting to me to think about putting my boat in up there and having to fish a derby because it's just so freaking massive, man. There's so much water to cover in 2 days of practice.
Yeah, it looks, when you look at it on a map, you look at it and you kind of, if you're zoomed out a good ways, you can look over and see St. Clair.
Yeah.
And for reference, St. Clair is a big body of water for it looking smaller compared to the other Great Lakes, right? So when you look at it, you go, okay, Saginaw is bigger on the map than St. Clair, but St. Clair is massive when you put a boat on it and start running around trying to find fish.
Yes, 20-foot bass boat. Yeah, yeah. You get lost pretty quick on St. Clair.
Yeah. So, 2 days of practice is a very minimal amount of time to get on something really well. I'm just hoping to get a couple of clues to lead me in the right direction. And, we mentioned it earlier, unlike most guys having to take off from the river and idle the 45 minutes out and then run 40 miles to catch smallmouth or however far, we'll actually be able to pick up our official and then trailer. I believe they're going to let us do this event. So that'll help. It'll help with some weather to an extent, and it'll also give us a little bit more time during the day to fish for them.
Yeah, when you don't have to worry about run time, that is one thing I love about BPT. I love that rule, and you can obviously do it because you don't have a weigh-in, and all the scoring goes on in the boat, so it doesn't matter. And I love that because you're not making the crazy runs. And I get that's all part of strategy when you have a weigh-in. That it is, and it's the same for everybody to a certain degree. But I do love that aspect that you fish until the bell rings, and you can go in a big lake situation like this, a Great Lake scenario. They'll let you trailer around. I remember when you guys were on Sturgeon Bay and got to do that a couple years ago, and I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that part is really cool. And you don't have to beat your stuff up. You don't have to mandatory drive back, 2 hours in 4 or 5 footers. You just, you can, if you launch somewhere fairly close, you can ease out there, fish until the buzzer rings, and then you can just kind of ease your way back in, load up, drive around, which is, it's good on everybody, us, the officials, and our equipment. We don't beat our equipment up as bad as a lot of guys would have to, which is nice.
Oh, we beat some up there in an MPFL now. I don't know if you listen to the Trent Palmer podcast. Old Trent beat everything he had up twice. Poor
Seemed
Trent.
like every time I saw a clip of him, he was fixing something.
He was, yeah, man. We need to start a new segment that like the Sonar Pros, freaking technical breakdown or some damn thing where he's showing you how to work on something, because that's all Trent did for 3 damn days up there, I feel like. But hey, he's smiling with that 100K check. He's all right. He ain't worried about it. But
absolutely,
he did though, man. He limped through. What a wild event. And we did, man. We had crazy weather up there every single day, it felt like, until the last day. And then even on a day where the guys all felt like, okay, it's going to be our best day to fish offshore, it's still by 11 o'clock, a wind popped up that they weren't really forecasting, and it got rowdy again. And it turned into a pretty long ride back for them again. So you guys being able to put in close, that'll certainly help. And it was funny, earlier today I was on Instagram, and Alton Jones Jr. had posted. He was on the side of Saginaw up there. He'd already made it to his place for the week. And it's just, I mean, it's just pounding, dude, on the shore. And he goes, well, looks like a fun day on Saginaw. I said, well, dude, to be fair, that's like 4 or 5 days a week, that it does that up there. It's big water up there. And the Great Lakes each Great Lake seems to create its own weather systems. Like, truly, it's like the ocean. It's amazing how it works.
It's wild, man. I saw that too, and it looked gnarly. I as much fun as it is to come up here and catch big smallmouth and just catch numbers of fish, the Great Lakes are not somewhere to take a bass boat just on an everyday basis. It is so hard on equipment, so hard on your body. It is tough to get around.
Yeah,
I get up here and I'm gonna get so excited to fish. I get so excited catching fish, and here I am when I'm running. I'm like pissing myself. It's stupid. I don't know why we're up here. I don't know why we're fishing bass tournament, Great Lakes. I get mad while we're running around, but then I sit down and I start fishing. I hook in another one, hook in another one, hook in another one. It's like, all right, this ain't too bad, but the next run I'm cussing it again.
Of course, yeah, you cuss because you got to wear your rain gear on a damn Wednesday, and it's 70 degrees outside and beautiful because you're soaking wet because you're taking them from every damn angle. Dude, I have been so pissed off. I love that you said that, because I have been so pissed off so many times in big water tournaments, just like all but punching the steering wheel, like, why are we here in bass boats? And then you stop and you catch a 5-pound brown one and you go, this is why we're here. And then you go to your next spot and you're like, I hate everybody. I'm calling Bill Taylor. Bill, I swear to God, meet me at the ramp. I'll fight you for bringing us this shithole where I'm breaking my equipment in half. And then you get passed by some dude in a 30-foot walleye boat with his freaking kicker motor. And he's just like, see you, bro. And you're in your 20-foot bass boat. One time I was running in my Ranger, back, I guess it might have been that 18 tournament, and I had my little buddy Michael Brewer fishes MPFL. He was fishing co-angler, and dude, we ran all the way to Canada at St. Clair, and coming back, my console busted, and my dual graphs ended up in my lap. Like 20 miles from where we were going. It's getting dark, and I've never, ever been that mad. Ever. And also, and you're trying to drive, and I'm unhooking graphs, and when I'm in the middle, I can't see the damn bank. I need my graphs. Dude, I went to Home Depot that night. We got back. I was all but freaking just kidneys shatter. Like, this is terrible ride. Because we went from Anchor Bay all the way to like the mouth of the Detroit River that day, and it blew. And I put in up at Anchor Bay like an idiot. And so didn't look at the forecast at all, just sent it. And we went to Home Depot that night when we got back. I could barely walk. He could barely walk, beat all to hell. And I bought lag bolts, and I lag bolted my graph mount back to that console with big-ass lag bolts, and I sold that Ranger. So whoever ended up with it, whoever's got it now, you got a lag. You still got – I bet they're still in there, though, dude. I guarantee they're still in there.
I guarantee it. They're stuck to that.
It was the only thing that I could do. Like, you know what I mean? That's all I could think of. And Michael goes, well, dude, you ought to just lag bolted. I'm like, well, hell, let's do that. And so what meat I found left in the console, that's what we did. But, dude, I did. It broke. It gave way. And those damn graphs hit me right in the freaking lap. I'm trying to drive, and I'm like, I swear to God, man, if Bill Taylor's at the ramp when I get there, I'm fighting Bill Taylor.
The only thing left to happen with that scenario is what happened to Brandon Mosley at the Super Tournament when his whole console fell in his lap.
Jesus.
We had all ran from Sandusky all the way to St. Clair.
Yeah.
And we were on our way back. I was just about to leave, and he called me. He said, man, where you at? He said, I broke down. My console just fell in my lap. I'm trying to drive with the console sitting in my lap, trying to use the hot foot. I said, dude, take your boat to the bank. I'll come pick you up. I had to go pick him
Oh
up,
my God.
haul him all the way back to weigh in. Then he had to get his truck and go all the way back and get it and fix it that night before the next day.
Dear
Yeah,
God.
so there was only one more scenario that could have played out after your lag.
Well, you can lose a troll. Sam George dumped a trolling motor in the middle of Erie one time. It bolt sheared right off in an open years ago. He sent it on a day he shouldn't have, and lost a trolling motor. I remember that event you're talking about, that super tournament. That's the one Lucas won, I think.
Yes.
And everybody was running to St. Clair, a good majority of people. I remember the pictures from that one. There were some crushed fiberglass. There was a lot of beat up bass boats after that one. Trolling motors broke and consoles broke. But I think I remember the picture of Mosley, all his gear. That's just insane, dude. Just insane.
It was wild.
And think though, people do fish that way a lot up there, but they know the days they can go and the days they can't. But those bodies of water, I'm like you spend a lot of time around the Gulf Coast and you've saltwater fished. I mean, dude, it's no different. It's no different than going to Pensacola or Orange Beach or wherever and going, I'm going to take this bass boat 20 miles out here and try to catch some of these red snapper. There's zero difference. Zero difference.
Exactly. Yep.
And I say that to say none of us would do that for the most part.
Correct.
In our right mind. But by God, you make it freshwater and you put some little brown smallmouth out there, we're going to send it every time. I know Zack Birge is going to send it. You are full tilt all the way, all the time.
And I sent it to St. Clair that tournament and back, and I don't necessarily know that was a good decision, but I got a check out of it, so it was all good after the tournament.
You're probably still a little beat up from it.
Hey, I'll tell you who sent it past me. I was driving, and I just got a brand new boat because I had fire that year. That's when I had Charger caught fire, right? So at that time, Bass Cat built a boat and got it to me really quick, which was great. But they so I was still getting the boat situated because it was brand new. I just put everything on it, and so I was kind of taking it easy going over there. And here comes Alton Jr. by me, straight up sending it. I'm talking, we're in like big waves, and he just comes by me like I'm standing still. I'm sure he had a sore back, and he had to have broke something by the time he got where he was going. Because I was running like, I want to say like 18, maybe 20, and he had to have been doing 30.
Dear God.
I'm pretty sure his boat spent more time out of the water than it did in.
See, I'm good on all that, dude. I'm too old for that shit. I don't want any part of that. No, I'm good on all that.
That's kind of what I was thinking when he went by me. I was like, man, there ain't no way.
You're like, God bless you. I hope you catch him when you get there, buddy. But you have to get there in one piece too. And I know boats are of better quality than they've ever been. But dude, that constant hammering on your transom, on your trolling motor, the way it's mounted on the console, like we've said, on your graph mounts. I mean, dude, it takes a damn toll. Whether you see it right then or not, I'll promise you it does take a toll.
100%. It's no matter how good your boat's built, how tough you think it is, it still takes a toll on it.
There's some screws coming loose somewhere in that kind of deal, or some stress cracks that you ain't seeing. I'll assure you, because it's just fiberglass at the end of the day. Zack Birge, try not to put any stress cracks on anything in your back. Don't do anything to your discs this week. Like, send it, but get you a top 10 and make it back out of there without taking too many over the front this week. Hopefully the weather lays down for you guys, because, man, it is I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do, being a couple of weeks later than the MPFL boys, and seeing weight-wise what happens up there for you guys. It's going to be a fun one to watch. I'm looking forward to watching it as a fan this week.
Yep. I'm excited. We'll do our best.
All right, buddy. Well, you send it, and best of luck to you. And, if anybody does anything crazy on camera this week, me and you'll just whip their ass the next week. How about that?
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, we'll get rowdy with them. Zack Birge, everybody. Thank you, buddy.
See ya.
Zack Birge right there. We grateful for Zack, just like I'm grateful for each and every low lifer that tunes in. Zack's always he's always a low lifer favorite, and he's a veteran here on LBL. Thank y'all. I'm going to take y'all out with some Biloxi Blues. Headed to the Express Boats dealer meeting, where while you guys are listening to this, I am, just know that I got to hang out with Bo Jackson. The Bo Jackson. Bo knows. Humble brag of the week for me right there. He's going to be at the Express Boats dealer meeting. I can't wait. I'm going to be playing a little music out there as well. It's a really awesome opportunity hanging with my Express Boats family, but I'm sure I'll have some wild stories next week. And dude, I'm going to try to get Bo Jackson on the podcast. We just going to hit old Bo Nose up and talk to him about his Express and stuff, but we're going to try that for sure. All right, go take y'all with Biloxi Blues. Appreciate y'all. See y'all next week. See.
Damn these Biloxi Blues, it happens every night. And I ain't never met a riverboat dealer that could ever be a friend of mine. The summer heat never treats me kind, it leaves trouble on my mind. So I'm bidding farewell, putting in my notice, and I'll see you at another time.